Hello everybody and welcome to week 9. This is our first week of the second quarter. This week I am posting the beginning of the week on a Monday here, but you will have until the end of the day next Tuesday to complete the work that's in here for this week. Actually, it's probably not a lot of assignments for you to complete, but there is a fair amount of information for you to digest, so I would suggest that you get on top of things early. That's always better than waiting till later and thinking, oh, I don't have that much to do, and then it kind of catches up on you. Okay, I have graded everything that was turned in by the end of the first quarter deadline, and first quarter grades were posted. That does not mean that you can't still turn in some things from the first quarter. You still should do so. So many things in this class build on each other that if you skip assignments, you're going to be confused anyway. So you'll want to do all those assignments, turn them in. They will count towards your end of the semester grade, which is the more important grade of the two anyway. So continue to turn those things in. I know the one thing I haven't done yet that I'm planning on doing tomorrow is posting a short video with feedback about the quiz you took on the basic math stuff. I still have one person at least that I'm trying to track down to take it, and if they haven't taken it by the end of the day today, it'll be too bad, so sad, and I will post a video going over it for all of you that have taken it already for some feedback. This course, there are aspects of the course that are still a work in progress, and the quiz thing would be one of them. I don't really care for what we're using for quizzes right now, so if there's a quiz this quarter, it'll be in a different format than the last one was, and it'll be something in a way where you get immediate feedback as you're taking it. So look for that as we change the format of that this quarter. Mostly I want to be grading you on programs anyway, but I do think sometimes just getting asked questions about the concepts can help you think about it and learn about it in a different way than just incorporating it in a program. Although applying it in a program I think is the most important step. So moving forward here, we have week 9. I did post a new TED Talk in here. It's a little bit shorter than the last one. It's only 10 or 11 minutes, but it talks about creative confidence. So, and that's where I think it's something we all need to think about is I think we do have creativity in certain areas, and then being confident about that creativity can be a tough thing sometimes. So there's a short little TED Talk to get us going again this quarter, and you'll be graded on your writing for writing a paragraph about reflecting on that TED Talk. Look for that. I have a number of concepts this week that I've put in here, and I didn't put them all together in a lesson because they don't necessarily rely on each other very much. They're just kind of a bunch of different concepts that you need to know about. Compound Boolean expressions. Creating random numbers is probably the most important one of all these, because if you're ever going to create any little games or big games, random events is an important concept. And so how do we get random events to happen? We generate random numbers, and then we assign the events to happen when a certain number comes up. So you're going to learn about random number creation this week. And by the way, I will mention in here, fortunately for you, there is a newer way. It's been around for a while, but there's a random class that you can utilize for creating random numbers. So it talks about how to do that in here, and I've showed you how to do that with a video and some information. There is an older way to generate random numbers that was used for a long time, and so I explain it in here. You're not really responsible for all this information necessarily, but I put it in here because you're going to see it in some of the programs I demo, just because I had utilized it before and it works. So why go back and change everything when you have something that works? That's why you're going to run into programs. If you become a real programmer, you're going to run into programs that use this type of random number generation if you're working with Visual Basic anyway. So I put an explanation and a demo in here for creating random numbers the old way. The new way is much easier, and so that's the way you're welcome to do it. I certainly don't expect you to do it the old way, but I put information in there about past methods that it was done, so if you encounter those, you'd have some idea what was going on there. Okay, here again, you don't have to spend a lot of time with that. It's not like you'll be graded on the old way of doing it or anything like that. I just wanted you to be aware, and I think you can learn something about random number generation by looking over that old method of doing it. I think a lot of times we take for granted the way things are done, and so we can learn something from maybe the way it was done in the past. Using static and counter variables is a big thing. Being able to count how many times an event happens in a program is an important concept. Message boxes, I think, are a very helpful thing that you're going to be excited to learn about. And then, of course, our weekly journal entry. Now, calculate my grade 5. You are going to return to that calculate my grade program one more time and add in features that relate to what you've learned about this week. Okay, so I know last week you created like 4 different versions of it. Some people struggled just getting the versions turned in correctly as far as each version type of thing. I will tell you, this is a common thing that programmers do. Most of the time, you're instead of writing a program from scratch, you're probably editing and updating programs. So this is a pretty common thing that you have to do. When it comes to making different versions of these things, what I suggest you do is make sure you do a save all. You can, if you go up to file and just do save, all you're saving is your form. You want to save all those files in the project, so make sure you choose save all. And I would also close out the program and then zip that version together and send it. And you can look inside, click inside your zip folder and make sure that you see all the folders and files you should in there too once you've created it. If you go inside that zip folder and you see only one file, then you know that something didn't happen correctly, kind of thing, okay? Yeah, because it's not, I think sometimes when we're moving from one to the next real rapidly, leaving that program open, it probably isn't a good practice as far as when you're trying to zip it all together. So you're going to modify, calculate my grade one more time this week. Now when you go in here, one of the things it says you have to do is fix any errors that were mentioned in the feedback you got on the previous grading. So number 1, you got to get the previous ones turned in to get some feedback. Number 2, if you got them all turned in last week, go into the grade book, click on the link for the assignment in the gradebook, and you'll see more detailed feedback about each section of the rubric. And then if you have questions about what you're supposed to fix, get back to me. If you don't fix all the errors that I mentioned, you won't get full credit. Now, one thing I also want to mention to everybody is there's a difference here. Sometimes there's an assignment that's worth 10 points just on completion, like this one is. So if you get in there and fix the errors and add the things that I'm asking to you up here, you'll get 10 points for doing that. I might mention that, here's a mistake that if I was using the 20-point rubric, you maybe lost points on. If it's real drastic, you probably won't get all 10 points kind of thing. But I do have, there's kind of 2 ways that these assignments are graded as you turn them as a program. Sometimes it's just a 10-point completion. You prove you understood the concept, you did what you were supposed to. For the most part, you get the 10 points if you did it all correctly. Then when they're worth 20 points, that's the ones where I'm using the rubric. You have to add something that's your own creative idea. You should have menu items for all of the items in the GUI. So if there's a button on the form to click on, there should also be a way in the menu items to choose that same event to happen as the button happens. Here again, we're looking for all those take care of the dumb user things, like if there's text boxes they are entering information in, there should be text changed events that clear out the answers whenever they change that text so that they're not confused. So there's a lot more things I'm looking for when we're looking at that 20-point rubric than with the 10 points. 10 points is just, you're adding what you're supposed to, doing what you're supposed to, and I'm not going over it with a fine-tooth comb like I am when it's worth 20 points. So kind of be aware of those things. I could tell there's a little bit of confusion on that maybe because some people were putting a lot of stuff into some of the 10-point ones even though they were maybe behind on time a little bit, and then some people weren't adding the things into the 20-point ones that they should. So just be aware of those kind of 2 different levels of what we're looking for there. Okay, so I've already went on kind of long enough here, I think, and I'll let you go and get going on your Week 9 information and activities here. Be aware you should see a video getting posted with feedback about that previous quiz here in the next day or so. And good luck on your Week 9 stuff. If you're needing help or having problems, let me know.